We are recording. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fridays at 5. I'm Karen Taylor, co-author of The Color Vowel Chart. Head of education at Blue Canoe Learning. And I'm glad to welcome our guest presenter who's here now, Jennifer Campion, who is also our lead everything girl at Color Vowel. Welcome. We have new friends in the room, and we always do because we record and all kinds of people watch these every week, believe it or not. So we want to welcome both our live new friends as well as our new
dead
asynchronous watchers. Robin, hello Liz, welcome, good to see you. We kicked off in true form with a little technical glitch. You know, we come out together every week to combine language teaching and learning, technology, and the humility that comes with all of those activities, as Doug pointed out so well. Today's humility wagon involved ending up in some kind of a Zoom room that I could not track down to save my life. So we moved a few of us over here, shared the link, and here we are. So welcome.
Did you say a Zoom room?
A Zoom room. It's been a long day. I've had about 4 hours of sleep. It's a Zoom room. Great. So
I hope you left a sign at the old.
So, you know, with our new friends, I'm going to welcome Kathleen. And Kathleen, can you tell us a little bit about what brought you here today so that we might match a few of those touch points as we move forward?
Well, I teach English as a second language at New York University, and I can't really remember actually how I came across this meeting. Like, I think it was just in Eventbrite, and so I came out of curiosity, and I don't know that I have a specific question in mind. I just wanted to see what you guys were on about. Yeah.
Okay, everybody, you know what your task is today.
So nutty.
I'm going to start with first things first, and I know that Jennifer's eager to get started, but we do want to start with just that basic frame for who we are and what we do. So we'll just start with a warm-up instead of, you know, yammering. The color vowel chart that's behind me is something that ties all of us together. It's a visual organizer for spoken English and how it relates to written English. So ESL teachers, whether they work with advanced adults, young children, and everything in between, find something powerful in the color vowel chart, as we've found over the last 20 years. Why don't we show Kathleen what we do with it? Last night was kind of fun. We had a meeting with Blue Canoe teachers and users, learners, and we warmed up by simply inviting you know, a word, and then we would have somebody in the room model it using the color vowel chart. So I don't know, how about something like debacle? Like, it's like the first word that comes to mind. Debacle, we find the stress on that. Everybody show me debacle. Debacle. And then we'd find that stressed vowel sound, deba-ah-ah-ah-ah. And then this is the kind of the interesting part, because we turn to the chart, and hey, Jennifer, could you post a link to the interactive chart page? That way Kathleen will be able to see that and click on it. But knowing the chart and that each keyword phrase contains a vowel sound and features it and therefore represents it, we would say, well, debacle is not black cat. It's not debacle. It could be olive sock debacle. Or if you're from a part of the US or elsewhere that use nobody's going to say debacle. Okay, well, obviously I'm not a person who has this sound in my dialect because I'm just over guessing. So it's olive. Everyone's going, yes. Yes. Olive sock debacle is how we would code that word. And in doing that, we've pinned it down and we've made it possible for a learner to categorize it with other words that have ah at its stressed syllable. So it's an oral way to organize words and to build vocabulary and speaking confidence. That's kind of my short story there. Robin.
What I like is not just that it identifies the vowel, but it identifies which syllable is stressed, which is where a lot of, because stress is not predictable, but that's where a lot of learners go off track.
Right, and so debacle is not really as easily understood as that word that it is, or debacle.
I was thinking of a word from last night after we got off, is research and research.
Ah,
And it's used in the same, it's like, what's up with this word? I think I've also heard research, it's kind of, I don't know. But there's stress on either one and it doesn't seem to change the word at all. Yeah.
yeah. So some words are like that, where you can find that, either one of those will work. But by and large, most words rely on having stress in a place that everybody agrees it belongs. So we get together for tech because since the pandemic era started, so many of us are teaching online, but also because we ourselves have gone online with most of our services and Blue Canoe, which is our student-facing app for pronunciation. And Kathleen, if you're interested in getting that, you can go to bluecanoelearning.com and you can actually ask for access to it as a teacher and see about getting it for your students for free, as mentioned by Robin. So let's make sure that link gets up in the chat. And we'll do a second chat for the Free for Classrooms program. Raise your hand if you're using Free for Classrooms for Blue Canoe or have used it. Yeah, hi Bill, welcome, good to see you. Okay, so let's leave it at that. There are lots of ways we can keep in touch and keep spreading word of what we do. But today we're here for simple setups for success. You like the alliteration, huh? Looking for ways to simplify what we already do as our tech routines when we're working online, both with ColorVal and sort of in general, things that block us. So I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer, who's going to be the facilitator for our session. And if you think she's going to give you all the answers, you are sorely mistaken. She's here. She's here to do a bit of crowdsourcing, but she also is like a mad scientist. She's pretty smart. So,
yay, Jennifer.
Yay, Jennifer. We're glad to have you here.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Okay. So, here's my little presentation to go with this. This is mostly to keep us organized and focused as we talk. And also, I'm hoping that I can take some notes in here too as we go along, if I can figure out how to do that. So this is what I hope we could cover, but we've lost 15 minutes. So we might have to skip over a few, but I thought we'd start by talking about just the physical space and what equipment do we have, both tech and non-tech, when we're teaching English online. And then just a quick review of what everybody's using. I know we talk about this a lot, but we have different people in the room. And also, I find that the tools I'm using have been changing. So I thought we'd just check in on that.
Really? You don't say, Jennifer.
What?
You don't say. Things have been changing, huh?
Yeah, kind of. And then I thought we could sort of home in on Zoom a little bit and talk about maybe some pain points for sharing screens in Zoom. I know I have my issues. And then I think more of us are getting adventurous and using breakout rooms, breakout groups. And so it's thought we might talk about if anybody's having any problems or has any tips on that. Then look at the Google app, the suite of Google apps, and then other apps, anything people want to talk about. And then I thought maybe we could start posting some good resources that we found as we've been zooming around the internet as we have. So. All right, so I thought I'd share first, and if anybody else wants to take a picture, oh, why are you doing this? It's like going automatically. Anybody tell me how to stop it from doing that? Okay, don't do that.
Well, we have had both of us, and I don't know, maybe everybody, we use our computers so much. Jennifer and I both have had sort of catastrophic machinery failures, like hardware failures this week. So
Just to let you all know, if I try and type something and you see lots of extra letters, that's my keyboard. That's not me. I've got a little glitch that apparently some Mac keyboards have of throwing extra letters in there. So anyway, so I thought I'd be real honest and share, this is my setup. This is what I do to teach. And I first was using just my laptop. And then my son came home from college and had an extra monitor. So I hooked that up. And I don't know if I love that or hate that. So if anybody has any thoughts on that. I think
why did you want 2 monitors?
Because my issue is I want to see my students at the same time that I see what I'm sharing online. And I'm still not loving this. So if anybody has any ideas on,
what is it you don't like about it?
I think I say in one of my slides here, I find that I never know where something is going to appear. And I still don't know that I guess I'm looking for sort of a side by side where I really get a good view of what everybody's looking at. And then I don't know,
Well,
I still sort of get my slideshow, but then I get the, the photo booth strip of students on the side, and I don't see everybody. And with a class of, 17, and in a pronunciation class, sometimes I really do want to see everybody.
Yeah, when I use the dual screen and when I put a PowerPoint presentation up and put it in the presentation view, I think my students are looking at the notes page. I'm just not sure what actually is being presented on the student side. And that kind of bothers me because I had one slide just recently where they were telling me what color the vocabulary words were. And I think they were reading the icons off of my chart as opposed to actually trying to figure it out.
So
Yeah.
were you using the presenter notes?
Yeah, yes. Well, yeah, the presenter notes.
I find that presenter notes, your computer simply doesn't know that it's broadcasting the way it does when you're attached to a projector. And presentation notes is I think it's engineered to notice that. So then they're seeing everything. In other words, you're right.
Yeah, there's no presenter when you're, as far as I can tell, when you are sharing either Google Slides or PowerPoint through Zoom, you cannot use presenter view.
I think you can drag the presenter view to a different monitor and then share the monitor that the presenter view is not on.
So you'd open it twice.
What?
So you'd have it open twice.
Yeah, you'd have the presenter view open on one monitor and the display itself on the other monitor. But it's a pain in the neck, but when I really want to make sure that the students are seeing what I think they're seeing, I have a tablet that I also set up as not me, but a participant, so that I can kind of check it and see that they are seeing what I think they're seeing.
Yeah, I had another person with me earlier this week. I spent around 6 hours and I did it all Google Slides with presenter view, and it worked. It just showed the slides, but the teacher notes. So I don't know what's happening. Right?
Did you have a separate monitor?
No. I did it all through my little laptop, my MacBook Air, and it worked because the other teacher, the counselor, was in the session, and she didn't say, "Hey, we can see everything." So I was relying on her, and it worked. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
So
It'd be cool if you could double check Skip, just to ask her, you know, instead
Yeah,
of,
I mean, we talked before.
oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and it was like, yeah, it seemed to work for me. I don't know, that's weird.
So you were on your laptop and you were sharing and you,
Like a whole bunch of slides and even videos and things. And they they couldn't see my presenter, the teacher notes, but I had it on presenter view. Yeah.
and what were you using, slides or PowerPoint?
Google Slides. Yeah,
Oh, that's okay.
Google Slides. Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to rush off and look at those settings.
But I agree with you, Jennifer. I am still waiting for something that I can look at the material and look like I'm looking at my students at the same time. Because when I have a separate monitor, I'm looking at them, but it looks like I'm looking away.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
so like I'm waiting for them to have
and
to do some kind of magic so that you can be looking at your material and it looks like you're looking at
yeah.
their
The good thing
faces.
about the middle schoolers too is that they'll tell you immediately, "Hey, we can see everything, Mr. Goal." You know what I mean? So, it's great.
Oh, I think we have something for our wish list now, which is sort of like a teleprompter, a camera eye that is behind your monitor display and tracks where your eyes are so that you're always looking into the camera. Huh?
I mean,
That's the other thing with this setup. You can see that I have my second screen. Moves up and down, and in this picture I have it up so that I can have also have my laptop open right there. But even so, when I look up at that screen, because the camera is on my laptop, there is no camera on the big monitor. I'll do it. See, it looks like I'm staring off into space. So
I can see
which
your
I
chin.
hate. So I've tried putting them side by side. I don't know. It's kind of, I think I need to invest in a webcam or something. So anyway, that's one. Does anybody else have a setup that they really is working for them? I posted on.
I like the silence. It was like, no.
I mean, yeah, it's working, you know, it's not.
Did you see I posted, I think, I can't remember if it was in the community or on the Color Val chart page, a video that a teacher, I can't remember what university he's at, he's a lecturer, and as a friend said, kilo bucks. He had a green screen behind him, three monitors, webcam, separate mic. I mean, it was, you know, his whole room was taken up with. I'll see if I can find that picture. It's pretty amazing.
Jennifer, one of the things that I'm doing so I can still see everybody is, number one, I use Zoom instead of Collaborate, because with Blackboard Collaborate, you can only see, you know, a few people at a time. And number two, I use two screens, and I use some of the Google apps, and I put the Google app side by side with the Zoom. And so I'm not sharing on Zoom. I'm having everybody go over to the Google
Doc or
either document or Jamboard or drawing or whatever, so they can manipulate all the stuff in the Jamboard while I can still see everybody at the same time.
So you didn't even bother sharing the screen since you're all working.
Well, if I want them to be able to move things around, I can't anyway. So,
right.
I mean, if I were doing a presentation, I might still prefer to do it that way. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Okay. Well, this is one neat thing I came across, and if I get a chance, I'll put that link into, unless somebody else can grab that link and put it into chat. This is a setup for if you don't like the whiteboard that comes with Zoom, which I don't. I find it, I'm going to have to buy a stylus, I think, because it's just too hard. And I've seen some recommendations for some good ones. But this is a way to use your this is for Mac. This is to use your iPhone as a document camera. And he does give instructions on this website or on this blog post about how to do this if you have an Android phone or, you know, a non-Mac computer. But you can see that he's got the phone hooked up to the computer, and he does, when he shares screen, he share the document, the phone shows up as a document reader. And he just holding the phone is a like a flex mount that he bought on Amazon. And so he says, you know, just put it somewhere comfortable so that you can write. And then he just is basically showing that piece of paper using the phone. So
That's awesome. That would solve a whole lot of my problems when I'm trying to teach phonetic transcription, because I can't make my touchpad do, you know, I can't squiggle on the touchpad in any kind of controlled way to get the
right. That's what I found. I found that underlining, or, you know, just putting words and you know, colorizing them is difficult. It's clunky. Yeah. And so I mean, I end up using my personal whiteboard right here, or, you know, unfortunately, my big whiteboard is so far back that I have to write really, really big, or, you know, make sure that the students are using speaker view in order to see that. So, you know, I wish it was a little bit closer, but I can't without it falling over at this point in time. So
well, and the other thing about having a document camera or a phone, you know, that serves as a document camera is you can put pre-made, you know, you can stick a book under there and show them something out of a book or a workbook or something if you want to.
Yeah, which is we have a textbook that I'm supposed to use, and so you know, it would be nice when I'm in the classroom, we have a document reader, and, you know, it's good so that we can all look at the textbook together.
Hey, I have a question. I don't know if you have the answer to it, but, you know, I'm holding up my document camera that I used to really talk about and love, but the delay bothers me so much. Does this set up with your phone? Do you know if there's any cut down on that delay that we have with document cameras?
He did not mention a delay, so
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I also saw a setup with a somebody sort of jury rigged it. They didn't buy a special little camera holder on Amazon. They took a tripod from, you know, one of those smaller tripods that you can get, and jerry rigged this thing to hold the phone up.
Okay.
And so any way that you could, you know, connect that phone.
I did it with a selfie stick in my earlier day, you know, like a selfie stick from the dollar store. I just strapped it on to a light post. But now I have my own little setup, so I can share it. But it seems if you still want other people's setups,
take pictures, and, you know, I thought I could add them all of it to this slide presentation. Then I'll make this available on my ColorVal community so people can see pictures, and, you know, as well as watch the video. So anyway, so I thought that was kind of neat as a way to get around the whole whiteboard.
Yeah.
All right, so any other hardware problems and solutions? So I put mine, which is I'm never sure where it's going to pop up in Zoom, and so I hate those awkward, okay, I'm going to share now, and then the students all get that look on their face like, oh God, the teacher's going to do tech things. And so there's a, you know, a 2 or 3 minute gap while I go to figure out again in my mind where do I go to share? Okay, oh, no, I forgot, I got to click this and this. And then I have to figure out where the hell the window went, because it could be on either of my monitors.
Mhm.
So I'm not loving it, because it makes me look like an old dottery woman here.
I've found a solution, at least to the I'm going to share now gap. If I actually plan what I'm doing far enough in advance, which sometimes happens, I can make sure that all of the windows that I want to use are open already, and I may need to add a couple different browser windows if I want to use several different Google documents, for example. Then if they're all open, then the Zoom share can see them, and otherwise it only shows you one of the browser windows. So if you want to show something from YouTube, then you want to maybe put it on a separate browser window, and then it'll be able to see everything. Also, any documents you'll have to open already, and then the Zoom selection page will show it. And if they don't all fit onto the selection page, I've discovered there's a little thing in the lower right that you can say, show all of them, and then you can scroll down.
Okay. I get window overload. I find, then I lose things, or I can't find Zoom anymore because things are all layered on top of each other. And
Well, do you still have your little tray at the bottom with all the different icons? Like, if I still have that even when I'm sharing windows, and if I click on the Zoom icon, it will
I always forget that. Yeah.
direct me to wherever that window is.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect, because if I make the Zoom window full screen, then I can't find anything. I have to, it's important to not make it full screen so you can still see all the your browser icons and your Word documents and so forth at the bottom of the page.
Right. Anybody else have any hardware problems, monitor things, volume things?
Well, yeah, well, when I shared like the chat disappears with the school system, the way they've set it up. So you have to go in and you have to find a way. It took me forever to find chat, because while I'm sharing for 11-year-olds, they're of course writing in chat, "You're a fathead, you're stupid," and
So have they
stuff like that. That's what happens. So I mean, so I had to find the chat. You go up and you click on more, the little dot or whatever, and that's where you find chat when you're sharing.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard a lot of school systems have made it so that you can only chat to the host, because the kids are there, having little side conversations and things like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that too. You have to go in, and you have to do a lot of research to find out if what you can do and change
Hey
things.
neighbors, it's Fabrizio and Josh, and we are the gentlemen that
Oh, that wasn't me. I swear. Okay. And something that Karen mentioned to me the other day is check your settings. If you're having problems, just go and review the settings. Don't be scared of them, and go in there and really go through all of them and make sure that they're set the way that you want. And you might be surprised what you can control that you didn't think you could.
And
Sometimes
here,
the automatic microphone setting is not what you want. Sometimes you want it to be, always high, for example, or something like that. You don't want it to be based on, I guess it's if you have barking dogs in the background, it's supposed to cut them out. But since I don't, I want my microphone set always to be loud enough so that even if I turn my head, people can hear me.
Karen?
I was just going to add, with something like Zoom, there's settings settings tend to get nested. So, there's settings for this meeting, and then there's settings for these users, or in the case of Zoom, there are 2 sets of settings. So just know, it's not always enough to find one set.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes a lot of time, but you really have to go in and search through. It's like the most, complicated board game ever. It's kind of,
Oh,
a Calvin ball or something, it's like rules and rules within rules.
Yes.
But I found even with the hardware, I'm not happy with the resolution of this second monitor, and luckily I have a real life rocket science son, and he's a rocket scientist, and so he can help me understand all that kind of stuff, and I'll lend him out to you if you're willing to pay. No,
We should have him as a guest one time. That would be
seriously.
Friday at 5 with Robert.
Okay, moving on. I just thought it would be interesting real quick. What are you guys using to teach online? I just put the ones that I know. How many people are using Zoom? Of course, now, okay, so now I can only see 5 people. How can I make it bigger?
We can all we should get in the habit of trying the yes, no feature, right?
Yes, let's do that. How many of you, I get very nervous about trying things in class because I feel like I lose so much time anyway with the tech stuff that there's always a cushion about the beginning and ending it. And then, something seems to always go wrong. And then, so I'm really reluctant to try things like,
I'm with you.
let's find the chat see, right now I can't because I'm sharing. So how do you, all right, when you're sharing,
Yeah.
how do you find like participants and all that kind of stuff?
You can mouse up to the top of your screen, I believe, and you can see your controls up there. And then
No, I just have grid view, thumbnail video, active speaker video, or hide the thumbnail.
No, at the top of the screen where you're sharing,
top
where
of the
it says
screen, yeah.
stop share.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
Bring your mouse all the way.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, all the way.
Like, what?
Yeah, like Bill says, it pops down. Look at that. All kinds of stuff like give up remote control, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so in more.
Yeah.
All right, but I
Then it
still
will
don't
open
see
up
there where I can see you guys.
Can you see where the film strip is above it? There's a line and then a box and then 2 boxes and then 9 little boxes like a waffle.
Yes.
If you click that waffle, then it pops everybody out and then you can drag that.
Yeah, that I can see, but I can't get to where I can see the list of participants. Because if I click on participant, oh, there it is. Finally, it showed up. There it is. All right. There we go. All right. Now I got it. All right. So Liz, uncheck yourself there.
What? What do you mean?
You checked yes. So uncheck yes.
I
You
don't
give
know.
myself coffee. I have a coffee cup. You see that? It means you want a break. I'd never seen that before. Under
Yes,
more.
you want a break. You need a break. Or the little clock to say that you've gone away.
Yeah.
All right. So how many people are using Zoom?
Oh.
Click yes.
Oh.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. So unclick yourself.
Oh.
Like how many people are using Google Meet? Nobody.
Google
Okay.
Click no. Are
un-
you using Google Meet? Click yes or no.
Robin, you are.
Well, I'm supposed to be.
Oh, okay. But that's not the
I
same.
hate it. I haven't worked it out yet.
Okay.
Have any tips?
Unpick or whatever you clear your board. There you go. Teams, Microsoft Teams. How many people are using Microsoft Teams? Nobody. Interesting. Very
I like this so much.
Okay, clear the board. How many of you are teaching with something else, probably prescribed by your school?
Skype. I feel like my arms have been cut off. I have to use Skype now.
Blackboard,
use-
collaborate. Horrible, horrible.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use sometimes on Facebook Messenger.
Really?
Yeah,
That,
and
oh,
its quality is better than I expected.
for Facebook Messenger.
So, okay, I
Possible.
could take it a step weirder further. Messenger integrates with this thing called a portal. Does anybody use the portal?
That sounds like a video game.
Creepy.
It is. I mean, but it's cool because it has an eye that if you need to teach up front, it will follow you and zoom in on you.
Like the green
So-
pill or the red pill, which one?
Just
you
saying. It's a
take?
Facebook tool that you can get WhatsApp and a bunch of things on it, and it's a touch screen. And you're talking, you can see everybody, and then it will zoom in close to where you're standing, even if it's 10 feet away. So
Have you used this?
I haven't used it for teaching. I use it for to keep in touch with my parents. So the kids play their instruments like across the room, and it zooms in on them.
Whoa.
Just saying, it's a pretty neat tool.
It's so how do you get it?
You order it through Facebook. But
That's
I think
cool.
it's the kind of thing like it's not really used by the teaching world, but I think it could be harnessed.
Is it a piece of hardware then?
Yeah, I'll go grab it. You know, it's a little frame, but it does everything. It does a lot.
Mine's back here. It has the big frame.
Oh, nice. Oh, you have a portal.
Yeah, this is the portal. I only have it because my son works for Facebook, but I don't use it to teach.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
Would your son like to come talk to us?
That's neat. I hadn't seen that one, but yeah. So then it has this lens. I think that's the most compelling part of it, is you don't have to worry about.
Follows you around if you're
Yeah,
walking.
it follows you around the room.
Oh, wow. So when you do yoga, oh, cool. Okay, Liz.
Well, I have a question about, like I am the same. I could have said the exact same words. Like I'm afraid to use features that I don't completely understand how they work. I know that the only way to really master them is just to like keep getting on the horse. But like even breakout rooms, I tried to use breakout rooms the other night, and there was at least one person who couldn't get into one of the breakout rooms that I had assigned him to. And then I posted the link for the people who were not able to make it to class that night. And I just today happened to be watching it and realized that while this guy was not in the breakout room, his audio had been recorded of him talking to his wife and her going, this technology, blah, blah, blah. You know, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm glad they weren't, like doing something weird or whatever. But, it makes me even more like, okay, no, we'll just stay where we know it's safe, where I can watch everybody. And, I know what's being recorded, but stuff like that, like, I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, the breakout room, you cannot record breakout rooms in Zoom yet. If you want them recorded, though, you can designate somebody to record it on their own machine and then send it to you. So
Okay.
But
that's possible.
Hold on, we're going to get to
Karen,
breakout rooms in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on to that. All right, so this is probably not as important, but how many of you are using Google Classroom?
I am.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm using Canvas because that's what my my college uses. So,
It
that's
all
where I
like integrates. It's like Google Drive and the classroom, and when we use it, put it in with the Zoom. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I use it a
anybody
lot.
have any issues about coordinating that with their Zoom or anything? I love how Canvas integrates Zoom. It's really very friendly. I'm very pleased.
Yeah, we have Canvas too. So Canvas and Zoom and Google Classroom.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been a while since I was on Blackboard, but okay, I'm going to move on just because we're running out of time. Here are some of the apps that I have used with my students. Maybe not all this semester yet, but Any that you would like to add, or any that you would like us to talk about in the future?
Google Drawings I use.
Google
Google
Drawing.
Drawing.
Draw, okay.
Yeah.
Any others?
I don't know Socrative. I don't know what that is.
I don't
Oh,
either.
Socrative is really great. It allows you to do like formative assessments, and it's like the nice thing is that as the students answer questions, it can populate a spreadsheet, which you can show or not show to the students, and which you can show to the students, but you can mask the names so that it's anonymous. And it's free for the students. I've paid for the teacher app. I'll highlight, I'll put a star by that, because that's really a really wonderful tool. So we can talk about that another day. Okay. Any others? Now you had one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and can I share my screen?
Sure. Let me stop.
Okay. This one is not up, I think, and this is a kind of software, but it's very useful. Can you see that?
Oh, Blue Canoe. Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Good one.
How are you sharing that?
So this one is called Air Server. So just mirroring my phone or iPad to the screen. It's very useful, I think.
All right.
Put that in
What's
the
it
chat?
called?
In the chat.
Okay.
That's awesome.
It's very clear. I love that.
That is.
Yeah, and
So that's
also
from
you
your
can hear the
phone?
audio.
Is that from your phone now? It's showing us what's on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, please put
How?
it in the chat.
We're all like,
Yeah.
we need that.
Now
Yeah, I think so.
has
I
amazing
know.
things. Of course, it's probably
Yeah.
only available in Japan, but we'll
No.
But also Blue
That
Canoe.
inquisitive look.
We should add Blue Canoe to the list.
I do have Blue Canoe on there.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
Blue Canoe.
Air server.
Air server.
Okay, air server.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my list here.
Just
I'm also using WordWall that Jennifer Laura shared with us at one of these. It's pretty cool. You have to subscribe to it, like you have to pay for it after a very short time, but it's still worth it for me. WordWall, yeah.
I used one, it was called Word Garden. That was kind of neat. WordWall and Word. Now I gotta hold on. Okay, here's my other thing. You're typing and Zoom gets in the way.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean? It's just slow, or what?
No,
The
you
little
have you
control box is in the way and it obscures.
yeah.
Ah. Right.
Like all of your little pictures were in the way. So
Right.
You can move all the little pictures to the top if you want to.
Yeah.
If you look at the if you go to view options, you can move go from side by side mode to top of the page mode until you have all the people out of the way. If you want to try that.
I just
Everybody
put it
try
all
that.
up
Go
there.
to view options at the top of your page, and all the people will be across the top instead of on the side.
You can also make them disappear. Like in
Yeah.
more, you can make them go away, but then you have to remember how to get them back is escape. You just click escape and
Google
they come
Forms. How do you use Google Forms? Because I want to know how to do that.
Oh, I'm on. Yeah, it's just like I could share my screen, but it's just like you can make a quiz out of it. You can post picture. I make a whole lesson, and what's great about it is that you can collect the data from your students into a Google sheet, Google spreadsheet. And so we're using Google Forms because we have to collect all the data of all the time the students do stuff outside of class, so we can get those hours. And so it'll do that for you. They just,
Wow.
yeah. So does anyone want to see it, or?
Yeah.
I've got it starred so that we can maybe
Come back to it?
highlight
Okay.
that in another week.
Okay.
So
Do you
great.
want me to share, or do we don't have time?
Yeah.
Yes? Sorry.
I think we'll share it next time.
Sure. Okay.
Great.
Okay, just moving on real quick. So we talked about sharing screens in Zoom. Here, the breakout groups. I had the same question that Liz had. So most of my students are real pros at breakout groups. You know, I make sure that I share links in chat before they go into the breakout rooms. I love how you can message them if you forgot a certain important instruction. There's a way to message the students. Also to give them like a 5-minute warning or something like that. But I always have students who are, I know they're distracted by their kids or their roommates, or they're taking notes and they're really not paying attention. And every time that I've gone to breakout groups, there's one person not paying attention and they seem to miss the invitation or something, or it's lost.
Yeah, no, that's happened to me too. And it's not even attention problems, but you can't get them into the breakout group. There's no way to. So what I wound up doing was having a personal group just in the main room with that student or two that missed it. But
Yeah.
I don't know how, even when she left and then came back, I couldn't invite her to any group. So I think that's a glitch in Zoom somehow. Have you had that problem, Liz?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody? One solution I heard was to create an extra group, because you can move the, so you always have one that you don't populate. And then if somebody gets lost, you can move them to that group and then move them back to the one that they're
I'll
supposed
try
to
that
be
next
in.
time.
And they also said if a student is having trouble, or if you want to be doing one-on-ones while everybody else is doing that, that you can move that student into this private group, and then you can go in there and you can have a private one-on-one that's not being recorded. So I thought that was a really good tip. Anybody else?
I just have a quick question that maybe was answered, but I was having coffee apparently, which is that when I have everybody in a breakout room and it's a recorded session, does the recording just pause, or is it watching me? You know, it's recording me sitting there.
Yes, it's recording you sitting there.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's I pause it. I usually
Yeah.
pause it when they go out so that I don't have to cut it later. But then I always forget to start the recording again. Once
I've been pausing it just in case, and then that's the problem with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what I did? I put a little like Post-it note when up at
That's
the
smart.
top of my screen, and that was a reminder, a physical reminder
This
to.
sounds like the old joke about like the the blonde that would take out the white out on the screen, you know? Old joke, not appropriate.
No, but I wrote start recording,
That's great.
and I put that up there as soon as I paused it, and then I took it off. So that was my.
Yeah.
Super.
My not foolproof, but I forget to start the recording at the top of the thing. And again, I don't want the first 5 minutes of the recording to be showing me like scratching my face and, you know, like walking around and stuff. So I've just started asking Siri to remind, you know, I'll just go, hey Siri, set my timer for 7 o'clock or whatever. So if you do breakout rooms and they're going to be 5 minutes, you could do that. Like, set my timer for 5 minutes. But I don't know.
Yeah. That's smart.
Or we could just invite Now to come to all of our classes. He's so good.
That was always good about reminding me. Thank you.
Okay. And so we've only got a couple more minutes. So any Google apps that are driving you crazy? Yeah, Robin.
The biggest problem I'm having with any of the Google apps, anything that allows me to let everybody edit, because I want them to move things around in a collaborative way, like sorting and stuff. But then that also allows them to, resize the text box and turn things upside down and put things underneath other things. Is there a way to freeze the stuff I want frozen and not free? Liz says no. Well, that would be nice.
There is one solution to that, and that's make what can I say? Make the grids, let's call them grids, as your background.
In Jamboard, are you talking about like, Jamboard specifically?
Yeah, like in Jamboard, or I'm not sure if Jamboard does it, but in Google Slides. And
yeah, that works
Google,
too.
So what I did was I went, because I'm very comfortable with PowerPoint. So I went to PowerPoint and I made a slide of like the 6 boxes that I wanted. And then I saved that. You export that as a JPEG. And then you can go into Google Slides and you use that as your background. So it can't be moved.
I've done that with the vowel chart, for example, because I don't want people messing with that.
Right, right. And that at least fixes part of your image. And then like my students were doing a sorting, and we just practiced, looking at, I showed them, you got to make sure that the cursor looks like a plus before you pull it. And the other thing is, if you have different things, is to go through each element and make sure you have it, bring it to front, so so that things don't get hidden.
I have an example of, if anybody wants to see how a background image works on a Google slide.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know if that's something people want to see.
Yeah, real quick.
Okay, good.
Of
Here we
course.
go. Cool. Well, it's just that before, like this is a stress sorting activity, that these would move, right? Like if somebody touched this whole thing, it would move. And so now you can't do anything to move it because it's the background. And I did that where you're setting for the slide, you can edit, where is it? Apply layout, no, change background.
Oh.
And then you choose an image instead of a color, for example.
And this
So
is
you
in
choose an
Slides,
image.
Google Slides?
Yeah, this is Google Slides. And
How are
so
you getting all that space on the side?
how am I getting all this space on the side? Like this side?
You want to
To the
go
left
to
and to the right.
the page setup, and you can
Oh.
make it wider.
Ah, okay, good. I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I made this a vertical page. So that's part of it too. But then I'm able to, okay, dentist, like that. And I made a couple of copies of this so that when you're down in here, I made 2 copies, because if I go into 2 breakout rooms, they each need their own copy to play with.
Right.
Otherwise, they'll be moving each other's words around. So I just make a couple copies of that.
And one thing I did as a step even before that, which really worked well last week, I created a Google Doc with a table, and I had the group number in one column, and then the next column was the names of the people in that group. And then I had a column of the links that they needed for so there was activity 1 and activity 2. And so I showed that to them. I shared that in chat and had everybody download it. And then, so everybody had the links for the whole class right there, because we were going in and out of groups. And it worked really well. I only had one, with the first activity, a couple students all picked the link in the first group. And so then when I went to check on group 1, they're like, somebody else is moving our stuff around.
Right, and you can't tell who it is because it's those stupid animals, right?
Right. So, but after that, I made sure that everybody was picking the right link for the right group. And it worked really, really well because, with 17 students, it's kind of hard to do that. So I strongly recommend taking the extra time, that time to make that table up and to, decide your breakout groups first. Okay, we're getting late, but yes, the animals is annoying, but Liz shared a wonderful
Anonymous antelope.
Yeah.
But Liz shared a file about that where was it? Is that Color Val Short or my Color Val community?
The Color Val community.
The community. So thank you, Liz, for that. Well, we're over time.
No, I want to talk about one more thing. I have to.
Yes.
Our bodies. So I don't know about you, but we all spend a ton of time at our computers, and I'm finally starting to suffer like all that pain that's happening. So I just want to urge us all that if you don't have this yet, you want to be doing all your good stretches, right? And so I don't know. It's like it started to dawn on me that I can't keep this up without doing something to keep my health.
Everybody needs to do radio Taiso right now.
And now's on her bouncy ball there.
I am too.
My back is killing me. I've been sitting at this computer since 10 o'clock this morning. And
I will say, the ball has saved my life. And now I think you agree. We have the same ball. We're halfway around the world from each other. We have the same ball.
Bill,
show it to us now.
Really? The ball works?
The ball's fantastic. The ball has a handle, and we love our balls. It's covered in a really nice material that's you don't slip off of.
Yeah, because that's the same thing. Here's a handle.
It seems like it doesn't give you any support, like for your back or anything.
That's the whole point. So the first 2 weeks that I was using it, I was feeling kind of like, I don't know about this. And then the whole point is that you're engaged. Your whole core is busy.
It forces you to engage your core. And it forces
let's see yours, Bill.
Come on, Bill.
Let's see your ball, Bill.
Okay.
All of us on balls, please bounce. We don't even need to raise our hands. We just do this.
Okay, now we all have to go get balls. All the cool kids have them.
Seriously, I highly recommend a ball. I'm constantly moving, and it allows me, that's the whole thing, is sitting in a chair is just planting your spine in this static place. So that's my...
And plus, what you pointed out before, Karen, is it really allows you that movement easily.
Oh, yeah. And then when I stand up, I swear to God, I just roll it away. And now, and I don't have a chair that's like, tripping me. And my ball's over there now.
Okay.
I have fallen off my chair in front of my students more than once. So I'm a little dubious about this.
You got to keep both feet on the ground. It's, it's a thing, but I did try
Can
it
you
out at the
stand
shop.
on it in your kitchen to reach something? That's what
Only you would
I
think of trying
recommend
that.
that, Liz.
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody. I want to thank Jennifer. Everybody give a little, love to Jennifer here for facilitating and sharing.
Great job.
Thank you guys. So I'll try and type these notes up, and it wasn't as much as we were hoping to get done, but hopefully at least we know we're all sharing the same pain. So
Yeah, and
Some
isn't
of
that
it
sort of
literal.
the mantra, or the, not the mantra, but the ending sentence of every teacher? I didn't get as much covered as I'd hoped. We never get as much covered as we hoped or planned for.
But seriously, I mean, I think it really is helpful to see that everybody, you know, like there is nobody out there who is teaching with this stuff that isn't having problems. It's just not possible. Like, we're all trying to figure it out, and it really is helpful.
And we're the experts, right? Yeah. So I'm feeling a lot better about my idiocy here.
Right.
And if I can say, so because I'm an experienced teacher in a weird online world for the first time, I am blogging, and so I had my first blog post up last week. Hopefully by the end of the evening, my next post will be up, and I've got a couple I'm a little behind, but
okay, post your URL.
It's on colorval.com, and
Okay.
you go to.
I'm posting it right now.
Karen's
So this is her first blog. We're having technical issues. We're trying to learn how to turn on the comments on this blog setting. The website, somehow it has that locked down. But do, you know, take a moment to read Jennifer's first entry right there, and her second will follow along. So that's a lot of fun. And anyone else who wants to blog, you know, start blogging. Let me know. I have Laura McIndoe is keeping a Flipgrid blog. So if you prefer to blog via video, we can make a vlog out of your Flipgrid post.
Right.
And I already have that set up. So just say the word and I'll send you a link straight to Flipgrid to that particular grid. Okay.
I find it a lot, you know, I'm just going through, this is what my blog is about this time, all of the stuff that's out there, and it's kind of, you know, after a while it reinforces to me how much I don't know more than giving me ideas for what I can do. So it's kind of scary, but anyway, we're all in it together, right?
So we do come here every Friday at 5 Eastern. I'm going to fix the whole Zoom problem. Kathleen asked, what does Zoom bombing look like? And I think she heard what the first one was like. The second one was video sharing, and it wasn't pretty, I'll tell you that. So I do feel a little shell-shocked by the Zoom bombing that we've experienced through this free event, because it's free.
Do you require a password?
It does require a password. What I believe happened, I think I found there's one person that the person who did the second bombing actually registered for this event and went out on Eventbrite and found it as a free event. So what I did is I closed the registration window so it ends 1 hour before.
Oh, okay.
And that seems to have prevented, you know, I think it's very opportunistic as an activity. They don't really plan. I don't think they're actually that malicious so much as just wantonly selfish. And so they, you know, they do it in the moment to entertain themselves, I suppose. So that's what we're doing, is adding a question also, which asks for a very detailed answer. And so if somebody takes the time to answer it and it seems like it's of our field, then I don't feel like I have any red flags. So that's been my strategy. Yeah, Liz.
But Karen, isn't it, I think that you as the host can set your meeting so that no one can screen share except for the host. And then if somebody wants to, like if I wanted to show something at that moment, you or, you know, any other co-host could make me a co-host, then I could share my screen. But as a rule, it would disallow anyone from screen sharing.
Well, you know what they did, Liz? They put it into their window. They were not sharing on the screen.
Oh.
They were putting a window, like you would change.
Like right here?
Instead of going to your black box, they used and you know, you can put your little photo in your black box instead of your name. They were putting a video there.
Okay.
Oh, that blows my mind. I didn't even realize that.
So even if you said stop video, it was already stopped, right? So the only way to do it would have been to remove that person, right?
Right. And you know what they do? They go in and tag team, and they start creating more people, and it's hard to find them.
So the first time around, we took the time to hunt them down. It took about 12 minutes and everybody was so patient. It was terrible. And so the second time I just said, everyone, I'm going to email you a new link. And I only sent that link to the people I knew, which was most of us. So anyway, it's not nice. But you all are fantastic. And I couldn't have had a better Friday. So thank you for coming. And
Welcome,
thank you, Jennifer,
Kathleen.
again. And we'll see you again next week or in a following week, okay?
Don't forget to register before 4 o'clock.
Oh, and Color Val Basics, launches next week. We've got 2 sections. It's our 21st and 22nd cohort, or 21st, anyway, it's coming up. So Color Val Basics, you can learn more about that on our website if anybody knows anybody as well. Okay, thank you very much.
What's next week? Is it 4th Friday next week?
Oh, yeah.
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you. Ask a Linguist.
I'm on next week. Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Next week.
Next week, we're going to have a very particular structure I have in mind, Robin. We're going to have fun with this.
Okay.
We have questions. So send in questions and we'll be including it in the lineup for Robin.
Ask a Linguist is next Friday. Yes,
Yeah.
Please ask me questions because otherwise I'll just go off on my own.
Wind her up. All right, everyone. Have a
Okay.
safe weekend,
Bye-bye.
a healthy week. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Kathy,
you.
for coming.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care now.